Evening, everyone, and finally, a big welcome back to the channel. I know I apologise; it's been so long. I've just, been caught up with work mainly. As you know, I was doing it while I was working night shift, but night shift is just, killing me off. Just knackered all the time. By the time I get up, etc., then it's time to pretty much get ready, have my tea, and go to work. But we are finally back. Please do leave any questions in the chat as well if you want regarding anything Rovers. Of course, back with Neil. It has been a while, but hope you're doing well.
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, no sweat.
Yeah, it's good to hear. But of course, leave a like on the video if you're watching it back on the replay. Do leave a like also and leave any comments, and I will get back to them. And do subscribe. We are going to be back doing what we usually do, of course. Going live on a Sunday because of our game on Tuesday night. It's good to see people back. Good to see you as well, Charlie. Yeah, I know it's been so long. Of course, I have been going to all the games. It's just works. Yeah, it's just been tiring, man. I know it's been people say, I can't remember the bloke's name, but me and Neil were at Wycombe, and the bloke was like, "Have you had an argument? You and Neil had an argument?" And it's nothing like that. It's just I've just been busy with other things. If I could do this for a living, I would. But big up to Noah as well. I know it's been ages, not quite years. I think it's been 6 months. I looked, and it's been crazy. We are back. Of course, going to dive into the Forest Green game, where we seen us make one change. Of course, Finley was injured or ill. I'm not actually sure yet. Big up to Ardito and Wayne as well in the chat. Of course, one change. Coburn coming in to start for the first time in quite a while. I can't remember actually the last game he started. Pretty much the normal team that we have seen. It's good that we've been managing to pretty much keep the same team over the last sort of month or so, and that's obviously seen our performances sky high really. Especially the last three unbeaten. What was your thoughts, Neil? First of all, when you seen that Finley was missing, because I've seen a few people on Twitter were like, "Oh no, Finley's not playing," but what was your thoughts on the team and the first half?
I mean, the lineup itself, I know Finley was missing, but I wasn't too concerned either way, really. Like, we've got a squad of players that are perfectly capable of going there and winning that game, to be honest. Like, they know what they are, Forest Green. They know where they are in the league. They know what they're amounting to. Like, they're cannon fodder. They're going down. They know they are. There's no way back for them. So, on one hand, does it make them dangerous because they've got nothing to play for? Yeah, but they haven't got the quality to do anything. Like, they can try their hardest, but they're just not a great side, unfortunately, for them. So Finley missing wasn't a big deal to me, to be honest. But I think where we are in the season now, I can look at any game and think it's not that big a deal because we're going to finish middle of the road, regardless of what happens. We are a middle of the road side. We're going to finish middle of the road. Like, we got 12 games to go, and most of what happens as of sort of what happened Saturday and what we do going forward will all be one eye on next season, really.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when I look at it 2 o'clock, I'm more looking at it to think, okay, what's he looking to do? Either we're not striving to go anywhere or do anything. It's probably going to be a lot of people getting minutes, a lot of rotation. We're going to have a lot of Saturday, Tuesdays, bank holidays, etc. We're going to be coming up through the next 12 games, so it's going to be a lot of jigging about. I don't think you can read too much into it. Everything's got one eye on next season, really, now. Yeah,
I mean, it is, like you said, it is going to be, it is where we are, where, like you said, we're not going to, there was hope of playoffs. A lot of people know that I had a bet with you, saying, because I was super confident at the time. Obviously, it's gutting now because I think if we didn't have that bad run, it's just so frustrating. There was a thing which I will bring up soon, and I mentioned on the post yesterday after the game. But what did you make of obviously going 1-0 down? Obviously, we chatted briefly before we went live. I was sort of fearing, here we go again, because obviously we haven't had, especially last season, Forest Green had a quality team. Of course, it's clear to see why they're at the bottom now. When you're a club like Forest Green and you lose the type of players they did, Cadden being one. Look at him. He's at Barnsley. Kane Wilson went to Bristol City, but he's pretty much been out injured the whole season. You got Ebu Adams went to Cardiff as well. So it's a big, spine really of their side left. And it was always going to be tough. But, that was Barton's first win, against Forest Green. Obviously, we lost to them on the opening day. We always lose on the opening day. I think it's been 11, 12 years since we last won on the opening day. And then, of course, last season, we lost 2-0 there, I believe, and we drew 0 at home, of course, when they went, done their pitch invasion. Fair play to them. They got promoted, so they had a quality season. But like you said, it was a totally different. But I was still a bit, when we went 1-0 down, I was like, but what did you make of them going 1-0 and then obviously our reaction after that?
I mean, again, I didn't really read too much into it. We go 1-0 down, every now and then as it is sort of thing. And we always sort of find a way of, on a rare occasion that we do not manage to create anything. The one thing that we have got on our side throughout the course of the season, I know we've had a bad spell, but the best part of our side is the top end of that pitch. So, I mean, I was more than confident that we were going to create chances to score goals against Forest Green. I mean, there was a lot of talk in post-match of Forest Green started well. They were on the front foot. If that Savage shot goes over the bar, you think nothing of it, to be honest. You don't think like that, we're under the cosh here. We've got big problems. Yeah. If that sails over the bar, you just think, it's an evening like open 20 minutes. I never looked at that game and thought, right, we're well under the cosh here. Forest Green are well on top. Just so happened they had a half-decent pattern of play, broke to Charlie Savage, and he's tucked it away. I don't know, I think if Benny looks at it back, he probably thinks he could have moved his feet a bit quicker to get his hand to that. But it's gone in, what of it? And it might have been, right, that's kicked us up the arse, and we've gone on and, done what we've had to do in the rest of that first half to go and get our noses in front. But I didn't think much of it. I just thought, I've gone 1-0 down. It's dead early. There's plenty of time to go and stamp your authority on the game, and quality shone through at the end of it.
Yeah, it was, to be fair, apart from that, and of course, we'll go on to it in a minute, the sort of last 5 or 10 minutes where things could have gone a different way and maybe looked, like they were in the game. Because really, it was mainly, we kept it, when we keep things basic and move the ball like we do and not sort of go to other teams' levels, because obviously we all know this season we tend to struggle against a physical team, teams that like to sit back and keep it in the air like we have seen, Burton, MK Dons, there's quite a lot of, Morecambe away, obviously, getting, humiliated there. But like you say, when we play the way we know how we can play, we are a match for anyone, like we've seen, especially against the better teams. You look at, obviously we go and lose to Burn at home, we draw with Ipswich 0-0, we face Barnsley, who I think are on a 12-13 game unbeaten run, and we're the only team that they haven't scored against. So you look at that, and we do play a lot better. So it's sort of good these upcoming games that we've you look at them. A lot of people would have been there worrying. Like, obviously, I was a little bit worried of getting dragged into the relegation, but when you look at it overall, you think we do actually play better against better teams that like to come out and play against us. So obviously that was good. Good to see you as well. Yeah, I know it's been a long time, but great to see you back as well. And Peter, as well. Good seeing you yesterday. Up the gas. Big up to Nippin as well. And Matt, if you, like I said at the start, if you do have any questions, do leave them in the comments. Even into Oscar as well. Good to see you as well. But yeah, leave any questions. Keep hitting the like button as well. And then, obviously getting back into it not long after, obviously Marquis got the goal. Really good turn of pace. Little, fake shot. Puts it in the corner. Pretty good finish. And then Sinclair goes and gets, of course, the second goal to put us 2-1 up. Probably should have scored the first shot, but he was there to tuck it home. What did you make of Marquis, especially in the last sort of few games? And I think he's a very underrated player for us. I know, he was brought into, I don't know, maybe get 15 goals. But I think obviously a few seasons before us, he still got quite a number of goals. He's sort of a slow start because of, I think he got an injury as well. And obviously that you had the good form of Coburn and Collins. But, now we're really seeing the real, Marquis, the effort he puts in first and foremost. And even against Barnsley last week, their three centre-backs didn't really know what to do because he could have easily had a goal as well. And obviously I deserved his 2 goals yesterday, which I think brings his overall tally up to, I think, 9 or 10. I can't remember it 100%. But, yeah, what do you make of Marquis?
Yeah, well, I said in the summer when we got him, he's one of them signings that if you was a recognised, top 6 side in the division and you've seen that they signed John Marquis, you'd go, yeah, fair play. It's kind of player that would go there and do it, sort of thing. So when we signed Marquis, I was pleased with it, but he was completely different to centre forwards we've had prior. He lives in the box, he sniffs off stuff. You won't get many roadies out of Marquis, if any, but he's a proper number 9 that lives in and around the box. Most of his goals, you look at, like, especially when he was at Donny, he was just getting his body one touch finishes across centre halves. The thing with Marquis is it's paying him back what he did in the summer. He's gone to Dubai. He's gone and done a pre-season. He's got his body right. He's come in. He's looked good at the start of the season. He's got himself injured, which has derailed him.
Yeah,
Form's kept him out of the side, and then it's just what's paying him back now is the fact that he did that pre-season. His body's in good nick. He can get back to what he was, and then for the remaining sort of what he now played the last sort of few games. So the end of this 15-game run we got to the end of the season, he could hit himself a bit of form that can send him into the next pre-season to just tick over and come back just as well.
Yeah,
injuries affect players. Like, it's difficult. Like, you can look at a side in the summer, recruit all your players and go, that side's brilliant, but you don't counter for the injuries and the niggles and things that can derail players, And that's what's happened to Marcus, unfortunately. If you'd have got him over the course of 40 games fit and firing, would he get you 15 goals to 20 goals? More than likely. Yeah. But that's life. Form, injuries, they dictate your season. I mean, look at Maka. The seasons have been absolutely derailed by the way that he engineered that move. Like, ultimately, he wanted to come. He wanted to get that 3-year deal. He wanted to get the move. And what he had to do that is not play games and not train at Wimbledon. And that has basically screwed him for a season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was one of the things I was going to get onto, because when I seen him come on, I was like, all right then, like Joey said after the game, we're 3-1 up, just keep it simple, keep it moving, don't need to do anything stupid. He comes on, gets a yellow card, he squared up with that Bernard, who was a absolute muppet the whole game, cheeks as everyone was saying, because, I don't know why he was pulling his shorts up so much. But yeah, and then obviously gets a yellow, goes, and it even from what I thought it was a penalty. Some people was like, oh, but I thought it was. Especially right in front of the ref. You don't do anything stupid. The ref was stood there right there. And then obviously a minute later, he takes him back off again. And we're thinking, wow, what's going on? And then obviously Barton, that was on the Rovers YouTube channel after the game in the pre-match. That's basically all he talked about. He didn't really talk about the game. He just talked about that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just like you said, no proper pre-season. Took ages to sort of, that move was rumbling on a bit, and then like you said, it's just been one of those seasons to forget. But like you said, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, it's a massive pre-season for him, especially because it's I think it's a 3-year deal, so he'll have 2 years left, and he's gonna have to do something, because at the moment, Barton. Yeah,
it ain't that deep, mate. It really ain't that deep. Look, anyone who's ever kicked a ball at any level will tell you, if you don't get a pre-season under your belt, you're screwed. You're playing catch-up all the way. And the thing with Maka is he's a young man. He's never had this before in his season, in his career. He's never had this. So he's struggling. I think he's a frustrated kid. He's struggling to deal with this to the point where he's got his move. He went to Wimbledon, did really well, got his move back to Rovers where he did really well. He's come into a completely different environment where the quality is a lot better than what he had before him. Yeah. He's not had his pre-season. He's constantly playing catch-up. We did really well. He couldn't get in the side. And it's just what he's done. He's come on. He's tried too hard. That's what he's done. There's nothing to do with petulance. It's nothing to do with a bad attitude. If anything, he's tried too hard. He's tried to affect the game as much as he could in the space of like coming on with like 10, 12 minutes to go.
Yeah.
He's not managed his mind properly. He's tried too hard and he's got overexcited and he's tried to do everything. And it's been to the detriment of us, really. And he's been dragged because of it. But that's just a little G up from Joey. It won't be that deep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you could obviously say that. It will be interesting because obviously everyone loved him. During that, he was pretty much one of the only pluses during that season, wasn't it? When we had him on loan. But we'll see what happens in the summer, like you said.
When he's fit, he will be an asset. But at the minute, the season, I said to you, like,
you said ages ago,
just write him off for the season. Just get him into the summer to get himself built up again, because it's not like you don't just become shit overnight. It's nothing like that. His body isn't ready for what the demands of the league are. That's just how it is.
And also buttons the way he plays as well, isn't it?
He will get minutes though, because like I said, you've got a block of 12 games now. You've got a block of 12 games now where the season's going to peter out. So there's no reason not to give him minutes and just give him an head start on pre-season. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, like you said, there's going to be a lot of. You've got quite a few Tuesday games, haven't we, as well? So you got Plymouth away, Wednesday at home. Obviously Wycombe. It's going to be a lot of games and a tough run of fixtures. But like you said, we're pretty much comfortable now in mid-table. It'd be good to see some players get minutes. But it would also be good to see players get minutes. Although I do want to. Me personally, I know different people have different thoughts, but I just want to finish the season as strong as possible. Although I would like to see some players get minutes, but I do want to finish the season personally for me. But obviously, that's just opinions. Question for me: do you think we can keep Collins next season? I think we can. Although if he does leave, we're hopefully going to be getting a big fee for him. So favorite signing of the season. Favorite signing of the season. It's a tough one. Who do we sign? Gordon, Gibson, Gibbons, Coburn on loan. Probably Coburn. Although I'm liking the way Gordon's playing. He started off rusty. It's going to be rusty because it's his sort of first full season in professional football. But the more I see of Gordon, the more I'm liking. He's getting a bit more confident going forward, looking good defensively. What would yours be, Neil? Your signing of the I would have said maybe Rosser if he would have. I've still liked him because that I think 13 game unbeaten run which took us to 8th. He was insane, but it's just the fact that he's been more injured than he's played. But what would your signing of the season be?
I mean, with Rosser, you run the risk of that anyway. That's his career in a nutshell, really. Rosser.
Yeah,
that's how he is. That's what you get with him. You just run the risk of him picking up injuries. That's just what his career's been like. I think the Coburn one probably for me. I think he's just. I don't know. I don't know a manager who's as good as Joey in the loan market. To be honest.
Yeah,
they come in for a month. They toss it off. They go back to the bigger club sort of thing. But I think he's brilliant in the loan market. I think Barton, to be honest, and the Coburn one. No one really saw it coming, and everyone was pretty surprised when we got him. We had to bide our time because he wasn't fit when he came in. Mm-hmm. We had to bide our time for him to get up to speed before he could start playing games. But he's been massive for us, to be honest. And then to extend it to the end of the season is even better. Yeah, definitely. Good question though. Good to see you back as well. Yeah, brilliant result yesterday. Great to see players finally showing. I didn't think it's determination. I just think, like you said, Neil, different. Every team will go on a poor patch of form. Every team does. I don't think it was determination. But
but yeah, obviously everyone has their thoughts. But yeah, for me personally, I just every team does have a blip. It's like I said, it was annoying because we were doing so well, but yeah, and it was sort of the games are coming thick and fast. We had a few crucial injuries, and the thing I was going to talk about, what I said earlier, is that the Lewis Gibson effect, if that's what you will, because someone I seen it on Twitter, and I was talking about it to someone on the coach yesterday. If you look at the games we've missed him, and he's not been, obviously he's another one where he's quality. Obviously he's got his injury issues, but he is a quality player, and he would probably be still in the Championship, or because I think he was at Reading during the COVID season where I think they just missed out. He was playing week in, week out there, and of course he was at Wednesday the season before. But if you look at the games he's missed, and we've pretty much lost all of them. I know it's not just one player, but he just brings that composed. He's dominant. He wants the ball. He wants to play out. He's sort of the player that Barton wants. What's your thoughts on him? Obviously, that partnership with Konsa has been very good at it in the last few weeks since he's been back fit. Yeah,
I think you're right. We have. It's been shown in it that we miss him when he's not in there, but he's everything. He's everything you want from a centre half if you can have it at the end of the day. Like he defends first, he's strong, he attacks the ball, but he can play when necessary as well. But also, if it needs to go like Rosed, it will go, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You're never really going to get. You're not going to get the perfect centre half in League One. If they were that good, they wouldn't be playing. Do you know what I mean? In League One, sort of things. But he's, from what you've seen over the course of a season, he's got to be one of the better centre halves in the division, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because like I said, that you look at the games, that he didn't play. What was it, Burton? I can't remember that game a few weeks ago he did play, or if he was back after that. But Morecambe, I can't remember. But if you go and look at the games he hasn't played and the results, there's a big difference. And like I said, he just brings that. Everyone's seen it. The quality that he's got.
You can tell he's comfortable. You can tell he's comfortable at the level because he can play in a 2, he can play in a 3, or he can play fullback. I mean, he's just comfortable playing League One football, to be honest. So, I mean, he's just going to, with coaching and experience, he's just going to get better and better, to be honest. But we said the same about sort of Connor Taylor, which Connor Taylor would do if he can get a run of games, sort of thing, and he'd be more than capable of playing sort of Championship football alongside the right sort of people in the right environment. But what Connor Taylor did, he was for us last season, he was a old-fashioned proper centre half. He had one directive: win the first contact in the box. Anything else is secondary. He knew his role. He knew exactly what he was good at, and he stuck to it. And that's what makes him a good, solid League 2 centre half last season. Could he play League 1 football? Of course he could, 100%.
Yeah.
With that directive, if you're looking for him to do what Gibson does, get it down, play through the lines, it's a completely different scenario. But if you ask Connor Taylor to do exactly what he's good at, he'd look as good as what Gibson does. Yeah.
And it's obviously gutting as well because Barton, in January we did put a bid in for him, but I don't know for what reason, because they've even now they got more players in and he's not playing. I know he's had a few injuries, but yeah, it'd be nice to see him back at the club maybe next season. But Gibson is, I'm pretty sure he's out of contract at the end of the season. Now, I don't think Everton are going to offer him a new deal, but I'd love to see us get him. But like you said, he's got the quality, which, if, I don't know, a Huddersfield, which they're looking like come down, they could easily go in and get him. But hopefully we could possibly get him. Who knows? But he's just been quality. What others stood out for you yesterday?
I thought Sinclair was good yesterday as far as the way he keeps us calm, his ball retention. What people don't talk about with Sinclair is his back to goal ball retention. He's brilliant with his back to goal, Sinclair. You don't think of him like that as far as a player. You always think of him as a wide man, breezing past people, putting balls in the box, etc. But when he's got his back to goal, Sinclair, he's brilliant for us. His ball retention is great. He gets us to go out the other side. He opens up the game for us. Thought he was really good yesterday, Scott Sinclair.
Yeah, I agree. Also, Bogart's another one. Yeah, he's been quality for us. He's obviously come on at Lincoln, and then he's played his first start was against Ipswich. I thought he was quality, and he just looks a really good player, like you said, Bart. And the way he just gets he's pretty much got every loan signing right. They've all had a massive impact, and he looks really good. Obviously, still only young, but he's been really good. And another one, AJ Williams just said as well. Ward is another one. He's obviously had injury issues. He's been I'm pretty sure he started most games apart from the Oxford away game for us. And he's another one, got quality. Another one, which obviously when we signed him, it didn't say how long his contract is, but I think Sam Frost from the Bristol Live said that he's here to the end of the season. He's another one which, if we want to go on the next push on next season, he's one that we need to get on as well. And it also, Barton's one of them, and if you've got the quality, he doesn't really mind that. I'm not sure what the right word is, obviously, because he signed quite a few injury-prone players, but that have quality. But he's one, isn't he, as well, Ward, which hopefully we can give him a new contract for next season.
Yeah, but I think you'll find that that's sort of the model for the way Barton recruits, really, because you can get players that can operate at a high level or higher level of what we play at, but you've got to have the compromise of if they didn't have niggles, if they didn't have injury concerns, they would be playing at that level. So what he's done is he's invested in our backroom staff, in our medical team, to try and bridge that gap. So I think that's just the model. We will get. You look at Rossiter, would have been playing at a much higher level. Look at him, Liverpool, Rangers. It just fell away from him. Ward would be playing at a high level if he didn't have the injury problems. We could go on and on with like our squad. That's just how we recruit, and that's the model.
Yeah. I agree. Like AJ said, Ward, second man of the match for me. He's letting go of the ball quicker than he did before. Yeah, like it was, considering he's hardly played. Obviously, he come back. I think a month before we signed him, he actually come back from an injury that he's been out for 9 months. So for him to be starting every game pretty much and looking really good. Yeah, credit to Barton. And the club for signing him really. And a lot of these players, but we've gone on. I thought everyone was good yesterday. Quansah is looking. To be fair, he already looked decent. I just think he needed that. I think with the left footer of Gibson, it makes it more balanced as well. Even into Nat as well, and Rob, by the way, smashing the like button. We will get on to the Wycombe bit of the video in a minute. I think, like you said, everyone played well. Collins didn't have. He still affected the game. Collins, he got an assist for the Marquis goal. He is, heavily directed in the press, like what Marquis said after the game. The way Barton set up the press yesterday for the first goal, and everyone, like I said, Gordon, Hall, apart from the little bit, he sort of misjudged a few times. Other than that, he was quality. Like you said, everyone. AJ said he used to take way too much time, especially on the Lincoln game. It's definitely settled. Yeah, that's all that. Yeah. When you settle. I think Finley. I think it was either injured or illness. I'm not actually sure. He's missing. Hopefully, he can be back. But I'm sort of, like you said, confident. With the way that Barton sets up. Sort of anyone. I'm not really. I feel confident, whoever starts really, especially the way we've been the last few games. Obviously, now getting on to the Wycombe game. Obviously, the way they play. Obviously, the last game was on Eve where we lost 2-1 after going 1-0 up. Of course, but back then they did have Mehmeti, He's obviously a big name for them that they lost, and and is now gone to Bristol City, of course. But yeah, what's your thoughts on it, Neil? The Wycombe game, like I said, we know what they're going to bring. What do you obviously make of it, especially now without Ainsworth? Of course, the ex-player, the one club man, Matt Bloomfield, came back to Wycombe a few weeks ago. Obviously, was at Colchester. Now Ben Garner has gone there. But yeah, what do you make of Wycombe and the new sort of, obviously, how they are?
I think Bloomfield's been brought in, hasn't he, to sort of just carry on doing what Ainsworth did. Really, he's been at the club sort of 10 years with him, knows the model, knows exactly what they're looking to achieve and the way they're looking to do it. That's the reason Bloomfield got that gig. The thing with Wycombe is they're in a bit of a transitional period now because they've got a lot of aging players, and I just think they've lost key men at a vital time, and they've got to sort of rebuild while still sat 7th in the league, looking to get in that playoff mix. I really fancy us Tuesday to get a result off the back of the fact that they've gone to Burton and got beat. Mm-hmm. They've got the biggest thing for Wycombe, bar none. Like the biggest thing for Wycombe that's going to hurt them is the fact that they've lost what I consider probably the best centre half pairing in the division. If any side in the division could have said you can have a fit Mawson and Tafazoli for a season, they'd have snapped your hand off. That's probably the best centre half partnership you can find in League One, and that has been decimated now. Mawson's had to retire, and Tafazoli is fit one every sort of 4 games. Yeah, that's screwed it. Add to that, you've lost Mehmeti, and then
he was unreal, wasn't he? That Mehmeti.
Luca Hall's probably still having nightmares about the bloke like, from when we played. Like, so he's gone, the outlet's gone, and then you're left with like Vokes 30 odd, Wheeler 32, Jacobson 36. Do you know what I mean? This is Where do you go with it over the course of a period of time? McCleary 35. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the fact that they've all played Saturday suggests to me they can't go Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. Sat in seventh. They've got Barnsley on the Saturday. I don't know what they do. It's missing those 2 centre halves. They've brought in that Farino, and he's garbage compared to what they've had beforehand. Mm-hmm. I just think they're in a sticky period. I think Wycombe, because potentially they could have been brilliant, and now they've gone to be what they could be is full right away with the fact that their gaffer's gone. Bloomfield's got to come and stamp his own like sort of mark on things without all those key players that he would have liked to have had. I think Ainsworth saw it coming and thought, I'm getting out now.
Yeah, it is interesting though. Like to be fair, they've always been like one of those sides that they've been more experienced, of course. But yeah, like you said, when you reel the ages off and the period now, where like you said, they've got Barnsley, they're in a very good position, but a few losses, and they could be sort of left behind because I'll get up the results like you brought up. Obviously we brought up where they are in the league, played 35, won 17, drew 6, lost 12, 57 points. Currently 6 places and 12 points above us. But like you said, it's been a bit of an inconsistent run. The game he took over, Ainsworth's last game was the 1-0 one at Bolton. They lost 2-0 to Shrewsbury away, drew 1-1 with Exeter at home, beat Fleetwood 2-0 at home, and then, of course, on the weekend, losing 2-1. Joe Jacobson, ex-Gas, of course, missed a penalty as well. But, yeah, it's an interesting one. They're a side which I think most people hate, just in general, but they are, of course, a very, very, very good side. They don't spend a lot of money. But like you said, it is a bit of a weird period for them, especially if they don't go up. I think it's going to be quite a big summer for them. Like you said, McCleary, they have obviously. I think their best player would be that wing, Lewis Wing, the ex-Middlesbrough player. He's been unreal for them this season, getting loads of goals. I think he's in double figures for goals. We know Sam Vokes is a very good striker at this level. Of course, don't forget Brandon Hanlon he'd be coming back to the first time since leaving Rovers, I think. I don't think he's played at the Mem since. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. It is one of those games where you think, where you look at our last, 3 games unbeaten, 8 points out of 15. Wycombe, we've got 1 more point than Wycombe over the last 5 as well. Obviously, we're coming in with a win, they're coming in with a loss. Of course, our home form has been pretty poor this season, really. Even considering we went on that unbeaten run, you look at the teams, drew with Fleetwood. We lost to Morecambe, I believe. Lost to MK, lost to Burton. But then, like you said, we've, surprised some teams. Drawn against Barnsley, Ipswich, Plymouth, 2-0 down. Should have probably won that game. So it's an interesting one. But getting on to lineup predictions, of course, I think most people would. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, we don't know about Finley, but what would you do if Finley is fit? Would you start him, or would you play the same team that we had yesterday, or make a few changes? What would you do personally? And I'll obviously leave your thoughts as well in the comments below. What team would you like to see? We will get on to score predictions in a few minutes. But yeah, what would you do, Neil, with the team?
I mean,
if it was you,
like I said, we're in a period of the season now where we're middle of the road. We're not really going to go anywhere, sort of thing. So it dictates, or it doesn't dictate what you want to do with your side, really. What they have got to look towards is the fact that you've played Saturday, you've got Tuesday, Saturday. So there's going to be an element of managing bodies to see exactly who's available for when, and looking at what red zones they're in to get to sort of Saturday.
Yeah.
To be honest, like I said, we're at a stage of the season where I'm not too fussed who goes out there and plays, to be honest. What I would do, though, is I'd keep the shape that we had for Saturday, because I think that lends itself well to what Wycombe will do, because although we're not going to be able to look to set traps on the press, because Wycombe will probably just boom it to Vokes. Like, they don't really look to play through lines. They defend first, get up the pitch as quick as they can. But if you look at Wycombe as a side, just mention there the ages of some of their players, they can't all do Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. And then if you look towards off of that 11, there ain't much in reserve, to be honest. So I think if we can try and squeeze their fullbacks to stay in their own half, defend the long ball, I think Gibson's massive for that, because I still don't think that, well, as good as Quansah is, the one thing that is lacking from his game at the minute of him being a raw novice of a centre-half is the ugly side of the game. He's brilliant on the ball. He gets the stick and he's lovely, nice and calm. But as far as doing the ugly stuff, I think Vokes will probably try and go and play on him, to be honest. But I think they'll be pretty direct and look to win the scraps of the bits and pieces in the middle. But as far as personnel, I'm not too concerned of who plays, because we're at that point of the season now where we ain't going to go up. We're not going to go down. Everything's with a view to next season and pushing on to the summer. So personnel-wise, I'm not too concerned. I think everyone did relatively well Saturday, depending on niggles, knocks, what they're like as far as recovery and being in red zones. Don't play anyone that don't need to play, to be honest. That's the way I look at it now, be it Wycombe or whoever now to the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like you said, it's pretty tough, isn't it? Because like you said, you don't really know what's going to happen. And like you said, we're in the middle of the table. Obviously, nice to win, of course, but like you said, I think whoever sort of, if he brings in maybe Gibbons for Hall or Evans for Ward or maybe Loft, possibly.
Yeah. I think you're going to see all these names. They're all going to get minutes before the end of the season in some capacity, because, I mean, I think after the Morecambe game, Joey openly said, like, he's made his mind up on a fair few of them lads already. So I think without having the conversation or being sat in his office opposite him, a lot of them will know where their future lies in the summer. Mm-hmm. So I think you'll see a lot of players getting a lot of minutes for very different reasons. Yeah,
I agree. Big up to Riley as well. Bit late. All right, lads. All good. No worries. Yeah, feel free. If you have only just joined, feel free to watch it back on the replay. I think Coburn, he was raw coming in. He's obviously had a bit of a experience in the middle. Beside, but he had a knock and he's had a problem with his knee. he's been amazing for us, this season. But yeah, all players, especially a young player, knocks and stuff, and it's a very physical league. We even on Saturday, you've seen all over him the whole game, and it's quite easy to get knocks and stuff like that. React Central, big up to you as well. Said Belly, Gibbons, Quansa Gibson, Gordon, Ward, Bogard, Evans, Azza, Marquis, Loft. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I seen that. But like you said, it's sort of tough, isn't it? I'd probably go with the same defence, bring in Gibbons. I'd probably go Evans with Bogard in the middle. Then I'd probably have the same attack, and then I'd probably swap. I'm trying to think what other midfielders on. The thing is, there ain't really much apart from obviously McCormick, and obviously you've still got Rossiter injured. And Finley, if he was injured, I wouldn't rush him back. So maybe just play. Yeah, I'd probably go with that team. Maybe. Big ups to Charlie Boy as well. Appreciate you joining as well. Do hit the like button if you haven't already as well. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to follow me and Neil on Twitter, socials. Obviously, we're going to get into the predictions now. Obviously, make sure everyone in the comments get your predictions down. Goal scorers if you want as well. Let us know what you think the score will be. Can we get revenge, like it says in the title on Wycombe, if you want to call it revenge? Obviously, I know Wycombe and Rovers don't really like each other, but it will be a tough game. But what's your prediction, Neil? But yeah, like I said, leave all your predictions in the comments, and I'll read it out in a sec. But yeah, what are you going for, Neil? And goal scorers, why not?
I fancy us Tuesday, to be honest. Like I said, I think they'll be. They can't set up like they do every week with Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. If they do, they'll be dead leggy, and that will just lend us to kicking on after subs later on in the game. I fancy us to win. I'll say 1-0. Lofty.
Yeah, that would be good. It's been a while, hasn't it, since Loft got a goal, and like obviously Marquis said it the other day. All of our strikers have this is sort of been Marquis's time, over the last sort of month or so. You've got to add in, I think that was his third brace of the season as well, Marquis. I know he got 2 against MK in the Cup, 2 at Charlton, 2 yesterday. Lofty had his period. He was doing really well. Then he got injured. I think it was before the Bolton away game. And yeah, Collins.
People like Loft, players like that, they serve their purpose. There's a lot. You look at what Saunders was before he left. Saunders was a player that is what he was employed to do was come off of a bench and see a game out or go and chase a game, one or the other. Even when Loft comes on with 10 minutes, 15, 20, he affects the game in some capacity. That's his role at the minute. That's just what he is.
Yeah.
So people talk about a side and a 1 to 11, but ultimately with 5 subs now, you can affect the game massively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, you've gone with 1-0 with a Loft goal. I don't know. I'm going to go with 2-0. I'll go 2-0. I'll go Marquis to get another one. And it's been a few games since Collins has scored, so I'll go with Collins 2-0. I sort of agree on what you said. I think with their sort of aging team, it'll still be very difficult. It's never an easy game against Wycombe, unless it was 4 or 5 years ago when I think we beat them 3-0 at home through Snake with a hat trick and that was on a Tuesday night as well. But yeah, I'll say 2-0. Obviously, Boomer's going with wins as well. Like I said, let us know in the comments as well. And like I said, it's going to be an interesting end to sort of the season. Especially with a lot of tough games. Obviously, Portsmouth on Saturday. That's another one. They've had a resurgence under John Massinio. Obviously lost the last couple, but that was against Barnsley and Sheffield Wednesday. But yeah, we will be back. We're pretty much going to wrap it up now. We will be back on Wednesday for the Portsmouth preview. Hopefully try and get a Pompey fan on as well. Hopefully Tom from 4-0 written all over it. But yeah, like I said, if you're watching it on the replay or you're watching it now and you haven't liked, please do hit the like button, do subscribe, turn notifications on. We are back full time again now. I know, like I said, I've been busy with work and I had a passing in my family, and been on holiday a few times, etc. But we are back, and React Central just said as well, 3-1 Gas, Azza with 2, Bogard with 1. It'd be nice to see him get a goal, and Vokes as well. But yeah, we're going to leave it now. If you haven't left a prediction, do leave it in the comments. But yeah, appreciate you tuning in and back for the first stream or video in a very long while. But like I said, appreciate all the support. I know it's been a lot of people have said, where have I been? And a lot of people, obviously do like it, do like us both, debating all the time, different views, opinions, that's what football's all about. But yeah, subscribe if you haven't, on the road to 6,500 subscribers, and we'll see you on Wednesday for the Portsmouth preview and hopefully a good Wycombe win up the Gas.